Hey guys, just thought I'd do this little video on restoring paintball guns. I recently purchased a Tippmann A5 for somebody who's joining our crew, and it came in pretty bad. Now this is not the actual receiver. I might have to edit some photos of the actual one in, but you can see here that paint's been left on the finish and it's damaged it. This one's nowhere near as bad as the one that I did. You can see on the ends of them, where the paint can hit, they get quite badly damaged. Anyway, I ended up going down I've done this before, so I went down the road and got some paint stripper. It's the gel stuff, and I applied it to the outside of the receivers with a paintbrush as seen, and I usually just clean it off in water. I put the gel stripper in that little container there and scraped them off with a very sharp little knife, which is broken off. You see it down there, and allows you to get into all the corners, and I used a screwdriver as well to clean most of it off. Now I'll just rearrange a minute here and I'll show you the finished article. The finished articles are stripped right back to bare metal, and they're thoroughly cleaned out. I've done that inside and out because they tend to come from the factory with a lot of overspray, which you might be able to see the darkish looking stuff on the outside edges of these ones, and so I stripped the insides of them as well. And I've masked this one up so when I respray it I don't get paint on areas that I don't want it on. What I'm about to do now is recoat it, and because it's aluminium you have to etch prime them, and so I've purchased this from Bunnings. It's White Knight Rust Guard. It's etch primer for use with metals, aluminium, copper and brass. I think there might be a different etch primer for steel, and in the appropriate time I'm going to recoat it in this stuff, which is available from Repco. It's a matte black high temperature engine enamel, which is designed to be used at high temperatures, and once I've done the final coats of that, I will bake these at about 100 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes or so, and make sure that the paint's hardened really well. So better get on with it and do some spraying, set up my little spray booth, and I'll do another video when I got the finished product. See ya. Okay, as you can see here, I've given them a light coat of etch primer on the inside, and in about 10 minutes or so I'll flip them over and do the other side. Etch primer's needed to help paint stick to aluminium because it can be very hard for the paint to get a grip on it, and it probably has a way of it binding to the steel better, and it does seem to work quite well. So, yeah. Okay, I've now completed spraying the etch primer over the complete receiver halves. Doesn't need to be particularly thick, it's just a coating to help the paint bond to it. Now I've got to leave it about an hour. In the meantime I'm going to tidy up this disgusting mess of a garage and try and make some order, and when I do some more work I'll come back. Okay, first coat complete, just waiting for it to dry, and it's touched dry. I'll give it another coat. Also recoated the cyclone housing, the foregrip and the rear handles. They just need a light going over because they're a bit scuffed from cleaning custom paintwork off. Okay, here's the receivers being given their final coat of paint, and I've stripped the masking off the parts that I didn't want painted. I'm now going to take them upstairs and bake them in the oven for half an hour at probably about 100 degrees, and that just hardens the paint because the engine enamel needs to be cured, and it's done by heat. I think it's come out looking alright. There's one little spot which I'm not so happy about, but I can't be too naff doing too much about it. There's one little bit speck of paint that I left, that got left, that I missed, but it doesn't look, you'll be pressed to see it. Those are the handles. They were a bit scuffed up, as I said, from people putting a custom paint job on this gun. This gun really was probably one of the worst ones I've ever seen in terms of it being looked after crap. Everything was a bit, I could have nuggeted them or something, but I've sprayed them and they've come up nice. They're all plastic, obviously. I'm not going to bake those. I have to see how they last. But I think with oily, dirty hands and things, they'll get quite a good patina to them. So next video will be all about reassembly. Catch ya. Bye. This shows the receiver halves prior to cleaning, and some of the following pictures also show I've given it a really good thorough clean in soap and water, and you can see the condition of it. This is the handle. You can see the condition of that's the paint stripper I use. Always wear gloves when using this because it's very caustic on your hands. That's the kind of implement I use to scrape the majority of the paint off. That's the etch primer, the engine enamel made by VHT, available at Repco and other places, partially stripped receivers, and that's the finished product.